So let me get this right. A sponsor of the show is sponsoring comedian. Or sorry, the sponsor of the show is sponsoring a contestant at the same time that the show is going on. It's crazy. Honestly, you would not want to talk about certain things. You would really want to look certain things. But then there are certain things that you cannot not look at. How can a sponsor of big studios be a sponsor of a contestant who's in the show at that time? What can happen? The contestant can leave the show and the contestant is signed as a brand ambassador. The brand is sponsor of the show. Yes, that's what happened. Most times when sponsors come on shows like Biggie or Big Brother and the rest, when the contestants leave, the housemates leave the house, when the show is over, they get to do some of these companies get to sign. Some of these companies get to sign some of the housemates as their ambassadors or as brand influencers. That's normal. But for a brand to be actively sponsoring the show and a contestant at the same time when the contestant is in the show, that means the brand can easily influence the votes to make sure that this contestant wins. It's a problem. And so to think that this Banks of a guy has been the one topping the chart, this is the chart right here. He's been the one topping the chart. But suddenly, after this was brought up to the public, when people started talking about the fact that Banks was being sponsored by Ndopwoods because of a post that Ndopwood made about Banks, right? And so suddenly, Banks came one of the last people on the chart in the next eviction. So I'm asking myself, what went wrong? How did Banks, who was the top of the chart from the beginning, who left everybody in a mile, had votes of a mile, suddenly come the bottom two and is evicted just after people start talking about the fact that Ndopwoods cannot be sponsoring this guy and they're sponsoring the show at the same time? So what's going on? Was there so much heat for Biggie? Or was there so much heat from Ndopwoods? And who that law came up and said, you know what, we are letting this guy leave? And also, I don't know how he's doing right now, because that is a person who is a married man who was in the show and was frolicking with Tila. And so he left. Tila is still in the show. I'm asking myself what's going to happen to him right now with his family. So no matter how much people don't want to talk about things like this, right? Because we want the show to grow, but this doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense that at the same time the sponsor is giving stuff to the show, sponsoring the show. At the same time, there's someone in the house that's been sponsored by that same sponsor. It doesn't make any sense, right? It doesn't make sense. But so far, the show is going. This is the 5th week of the show right now, and we're monitoring and seeing what is going to happen next. A lot of contestants have left, a lot are still on the show. This time we had Banks and 18 leave the house, last eviction last weekend, and so finally it's shaking and going. We see Tila standing strong, we see other people start standing strong, we see a couple of other people starting strong. Like, we're going to win it and see how the show is going, and we're going to bring you updates right here on Debenja Live. My name is Debenja, and this is Debenja Live.